Whitby Public Library's Digital Literacy Week. This is our Think It, Make It, Take It program. Today's program is designed to walk you through our Cricut Explorer Air 2. I'm going to show you what the machine looks like, give you a little bit of an overview of how it works. I'm going to take you over to the design space and show you how to find it on the internet, download it for free, and start to learn how to create within it. I'm going to walk you through a really simple project we're going to make together. If you registered for our program, you'll have picked up your kit, or hopefully you will soon. I'll show you what was in your kit, and then you'll be able to put together the pieces that we created today and walk away with a little project. The hope today is to bring you into some digital literacy, to increase your knowledge of something that you can do at home. Something that could support card making. You can make your own home decorations. Lots of people I've seen make their own pillows, iron on t-shirts. You can design glassware, cups. There's so many things that you can do with it. This machine cuts everything from paper to fabric, leather, felt. You can do all kinds of great projects with this machine, and lots of people support their own small businesses with it. Or you can just use it maybe to get your house organized and create labels, make your own greeting cards. So there's a lot of possibilities with these machines. We're looking forward to one day getting back in-house where we can have you attend some of our in-person Cricut programs. So I'm going to get you started and show you what the machine looks like up close. So this is our Cricut Explorer Air machine, and I'm just going to open that up so you can see what it looks like inside. So as you can see, this is the cutting blade. So this is a really easy housing to open and take out. The machine does come with some different blades. This is a fine cutting blade. So this is what we're going to be using today for our vinyl project. But there are different deep cutting blades if you're cutting leather or felt. So there's different types of heads that you're going to use, and they're super easy to install. If you were doing a project that included some drawings, you can do some drawing cards, sort of like a greeting card. You would just house your marker in there. They are Cricut markers, so you have to use specific ones. And then you just pop that in there and you're able to print with that. There's a loading button, so once you're ready to load your program, you would just hit this arrow. The Cricut button is the Get Ready to Print button. And up here we have a dial. So here we're just going to change between projects. So if you're dealing with paper, vinyl, iron-on, cardstock, so you just choose the type of product you're working with before you get started. Whenever you're dealing with a Cricut, you always have to use a cutting mat. So your paper or your fabric or whatever would be on here, and this feeds it through. It has a bit of a sticky top so that your materials don't move around. So we have ready with us our laptop. It is hardwired in, so it's just attached with a USB port. But this is also a Bluetooth capability machine, so you could easily connect with an iPad or a computer laptop through the Bluetooth function. So let's get looking at the design space next. We will begin in Google, and we're going to enter in Cricut Design Space. Once you find that, you're going to click on it, and it's going to bring you to the landing page where we're now going to download. This is a free download that you can put on your computer. You'll have to go into your download folder to find this. We're going to hit open. We're going to drag it into our application folder in order to complete the install. Then I'm just going to go into my application, and I'm just going to look up Cricut Design Space to find it quickly, and I'm going to double click on that. And this is going to complete the install. And we're going to open it up, and then the Cricut Design Space will open on your computer. This is a free download again, and you can play in this even if you do not have a Cricut. You will have to sign in to the free account. You have to create an email address and a password associated with the design space. And once you've done that and you sign in, here's where you're going to land. If you have a machine, you will have to set up the machine and link it to the design space. Up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see we're going to pick our machine. The machine that we have is the Cricut Explorer family machine. So we're going to connect with that. And you'll just see some what's new coming up. We're just going to click done on that. And there you'll see where we are on the landing page. You'll see some advertising up top of some promotions from Cricut. And below you'll see a video playlist that you can watch and listen and learn. And then you'll see the projects in the center. These are previous projects that we've made. And then we're going to go right to our canvas. So once we're in our canvas, we're going to go to the templates. I'm just going to show you an overview just so you know these templates exist. If you want to create your own t-shirt or perhaps a wine glass, you would just insert that. And once that's in there, you're free to design it. It just helps you to give an overview of what that might look like as a finished product. So we're going to hit projects, and these are some things that Cricut that you can purchase these files. These are downloadable files, but you do have to pay for most of those. It's a great place to get some ideas. You can also go to the upload button down here. If you buy or find free SVG files, you can just download them to your computer, browse, and upload them into the Cricut Design software. There are images that you can place in just so you know they're available, and text. We're going to continue on now and we're going to replace this with a new one. We're going to create our own picture. We're going to start with our image. We're going to go to the Browse All Image. And we are looking for just the free stuff today. So down on the left-hand side, you'll see an ownership. You just want to click the plus sign and you're going to hit free. And this will stream it to anything that is free. We're going to look for flowers today. That's going to be part of our design. And once I search, I am going to choose this flower right here for our design today. And I'm going to insert that. And I'm going to be able to drag that around. And I'm going to go back and I'm now going to search for some vines that I'm also going to be placing in there. And here's the picture I'm going to choose today. I'm going to insert that. Once it's in here, I can manipulate that. I can turn that sideways. I can make it smaller. All those little 4 buttons on the outside give me different controls. Make it a little smaller, turn it on different angles. And once that's in place where I want it, I can also make a second copy because I want to put one on the other side that is the exact same dimension. So I'm going to right click on the image and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to drag the duplicated copy here. And I'm going to go up to the top because I do need this to be flipped. And I'm going to flip it in a horizontal. So I'm just going to place it on the other side. And as you see, each piece moves separately. And I'm just going to move them over to the center a bit. And I am going to add some text in here. So I'm going to click the text button. It does open a text box. You will just type your texting in there. And once that's done, you can just drag that anywhere you want on your screen. I'm going to bold it just because it makes it a little bit thicker, more prominent. And I'm also going to be going into the fonts because I'm going to change the font. As they come up, you'll see these are all downloads, so you do have to pay for those. But if you go to System at the top, this will bring all the free fonts that are available to you. And I'm just going to type in the one I want, which is Marker Felt. I'm going to click that. Once I click back in my box, it changes the font on there. I'm going to create another text box down the bottom. We're going to put the word therapy in there. Once that's done, I'm just going to drag it down here. And once these are in place, I just want to, you can play with some of the wording up here. I'm just going to put a little curve on this just so it goes in a downward motion. And then I'm just going to go to the bottom as well. I'm going to curve that up in the other direction. And some of your letters might go a little bit further apart. So you could just come up here to the letter space box and you can shrink that down. That just tightens in your letters a little bit. And then once that is all done and I'm happy with my design, I have to click up here and I need to highlight my entire picture so it's grayed. And in the bottom right-hand corner, there is an attach button. I'm going to click the attach button and that is going to make the entire thing one file. So as you see, I can drag it around, I can move it, And now when I change the sizing for my glass jar, which is going to be 5 inches, the entire thing stays in scale. So I'm going to go down to 5, and then I'm going to bring it up to the top corner, which is where I'm going to be printing from. And I'm going to do 2 pictures, so I'm just going to right click and duplicate, and of course the sizing is all the same. And I'm going to print one under the other. And so now I am going to go ahead and I'm going to print that. And as you can see, I will see my view. This is exactly how it's going to print on a Cricut. So I'm going to drag one under the other. The red outline is of course outside of that box. You don't want to print outside of that because it won't print properly. So those are your guidelines. And now everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the print button. So I'm going to load my paper up into the corner. And I'm just going to flatten that on so it sticks. Get all the air bubbles out. So first you want to hit your load button. And once the Cricut button is flashing, we're just going to push go. It's all done. We're just going to unload that from the machine. In order to remove our project, it is best to pull the mat away from the project rather than the project away from the mat. So I don't know if you can see it too well, but there's our printed project all ready to go. Okay, so here's what you would have got in your kit if you've picked it up already. So I'll just start with the picture. This is just a printed picture. I just wanted you to see what your end product should look like. Everything that is in black is what we're going to leave behind once we do our what we call weeding. Weeding is taking out all of the extra around the image. So I just wanted you to have an up-close picture just so that you could remember that these were all the pieces. Everything where it's white needs to come away and everything in black printed needs to stay behind. Okay, so that's what that's for. You will have received an alcohol wipe. So you are going to be wiping down the surface of your glass before you put that on. If there's any grease from your fingers or any creams behind, that could alter its sticking. So we're just going to use that when we open it to clean off the glass. You will have received a transfer with your image. That's just what I showed you right now printed. So you'll have different sizes of glass and different colors of the image and maybe smaller. And then we have our transfer paper. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take the backing off of this. We're going to be putting it on top of here. And we're going to transfer, once we've weeded it, we'll transfer what's left on the image and then we'll be placing that on the glass. So I'm going to show a little bit of an up close of how we weed our project. Okay, so normally if you have a Cricut machine or if you know people that have a Cricut machine, they have weeding tools that come with it. So that's kind of like a pair of tweezers. And the other one is just like a little pointed edge on there. You can see that. So because you're not all going to have the Cricut tools, we're just going to try and use things that you have at home. So I'm going to be using a pair of tweezers to help me. And I also just have a pin to help stick in places that I need to pull out in the finer detail. So let's get started. So just try and find a corner that you can begin to pull away. And remember to keep your image close by so that you know exactly what has to come off and what stays behind. Most of it should stay behind okay, but there's the odd small thing that may try to lift, and if it does, you want to just push that back down. Okay, so our next step is to take the transfer paper that's inside your kit, peel it off of the backing. Now this paper can be a little bit sticky, so what I'm going to do and have you do is to put it on a piece of material, so like a pant leg, and just do that a couple of times and pull it off. It'll leave a little bit of the lint behind, but it takes a little bit of the heavy stickiness, because what we want it to stick to this, but we don't want it to stick so much that it's now not going to come off. So you can put it onto a tea towel. I'm just going to put it onto my pants. And so now you can see it's not quite as clear. It's got a little bit of lint on it, but that's what we want. So once you've done that, you're going to put it over your picture. You're going to make sure that the whole image is covered. Now, the Cricut comes with a burnishing tool, which is for flattening things down, but because you won't have one at home, I'm hoping that you'll have maybe a Whippy library card, or you can also use a credit card, and you're just going to want to push out any air bubbles, and you're just going to want to push your image down to make sure that it's going to stick to your transfer paper. So just gentle, not too hard. Then when you go to peel it off, you're just going to do it carefully to make sure that it's stuck to the transfer paper. And if it hasn't, then you're just going to give it a little push. You can even lift it if you have to with your finger a little bit just to get it started. And you'll see that it should start to come up. Okay, and this is what you should be left with. You should be left with your image on your transfer paper. So next, I'm going to show you how to put it onto your glass jar. Okay, so we're going to transfer our image onto our glass jar. So you will have an alcohol wipe. So we're just going to open that up. And you're just going to clean down your surface of where you're going to be placing the image. Just give that a minute to dry. Okay, so the alcohol is dry now. You're going to need your card handy for doing any of your burnishing. So we're going to take the image, just make sure you've got it on the right place on your jar that you wanted it. Now you're going to place your image onto your glass jar. Try and get the center in first. And then you're going to move out and push that down onto the glass. You're going to take your card, your credit card or your library card, and you're just going to push the image down. Try and get out any of the air bubbles that are around it. Okay, We're gonna see if it's ready to come off yet. Again, you're just gonna go slow, and anytime it's not coming off, you're just going to burnish it again with your card. It looks like it's sticking nicely. There, that came off beautifully. And there's our finished jar. Well, that concludes the end of our Think It, Make It, Take It program. I hope you enjoyed it. I finished off my project by putting some fairy lights inside the jar. It will be kind of nice at night out on the deck to use. And once the lilacs are in full bloom, I'm going to use it for my vase, for all my fresh cut flowers. I hope you enjoyed our program today, and I hope I was successful at teaching you something new in the world of digital literacy. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.